Welcome to our deep dive, listeners. This time we're going off the beaten path in Delhi.
You mean those places even locals might not know?
Exactly. We're talking hidden gems, the kind of places that show you the real soul of Delhi. You know, Delhi often gets a bad rap.
Right, people think it's all noise and pollution.
But we're going to prove them wrong, right? Today, we're diving deep with two awesome sources.
Let's hear it.
We've got Suzanne Wander's Delhi's 35 Best Off the Beaten Path Sites in Delhi, 2025.
Love that blog.
And All Places in New Delhi from Atlas Obscura.
Oh, Atlas Obscura is always good for the unexpected.
So if you're ready for a Delhi adventure that's a little less Taj Mahal and a little more, well, let's just say a little more offbeat, stick with us. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's go off the beaten path.
Okay, first stop, Murali Archaeological Park.
Ah, yes. Suzanne describes it as a sprawling, almost unkempt forest.
Dotted with ruins from all these different dynasties.
It's true. It's like walking through layers of history, you know? You could be standing on something ancient and not even know it.
Imagine that. You're strolling along and bam, you stumble upon an ancient stepwell.
Like Roshan Ki Baoli.
Exactly. Or the Jamali Kamali Mosque, tucked away in the trees. It's like a time capsule, right?
Absolutely. And what's really cool is that the Archaeological Survey of India is finally paying attention.
They're restoring some of the structures.
Exactly. So now's the perfect time to visit, before it gets too crowded.
Great point. Now, switching gears a bit, let's talk about Hazrat Nizamuddin Dargah.
This one's special.
Suzanne calls it one of the most fascinating spiritual sites in Delhi, and Atlas Obscura backs her up on that.
It's the tomb of the Sufi saint, Hazrat Nizamuddin.
A Sufi saint. Tell us more.
He preached a message of tolerance and acceptance, which is why people of all faiths come here.
Not just Muslims.
No, everyone. They seek blessings, find solace, or just connect with his legacy.
I bet the atmosphere is incredible.
Oh, it is. You walk through a bustling market, the air is thick with the scent of roses.
And those rose petals are offered at the shrine.
Yes. And then as dusk falls, the sound of qawwali music fills the air. Soul-stirring.
Wow. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Now, this saint, Hazrat Nizamuddin, did he ever clash with the authorities?
He did, actually. There's this fascinating story about a stepwell he was building.
What happened?
The ruler at the time wanted all the laborers to work on his fort, so he halted the saint's construction.
No.
But the saint, he cursed the fort.
A curse? What happened to the fort then?
It was abandoned just 15 years later.
Wow. But the Dargah, it continued to flourish.
It did. It became a place of pilgrimage and peace, proving that belief can really shape history.
Powerful stuff. Okay, speaking of places steeped in history and maybe a touch of the supernatural, let's talk about Feroz Shah Kutla Fort.
This place is a history buff's dream, ruins dating back to 1354.
We're talking ancient stuff here.
We are. You've got one of the world's oldest mosques, still active today.
Really? That's incredible.
And then there's the circular stepwell, totally unique. Plus, a 3rd century Ashoka pillar inscribed with ancient teachings.
But the thing that really got me, reading Suzanne's blog, was this reputation as a dwelling place for jinns.
Oh yeah, the Ministry of Jinns. She even mentions different departments for different problems.
So jinns, are those like,
They're powerful beings in ancient Islamic belief.
like can grant wishes and stuff?
Exactly. Influence lives, even interact with humans.
So people actually visit the fort to like seek their help?
Every Thursday, it's considered an auspicious day for jinns. People write their wishes on paper, tie them to the pillar, and hope for the best.
Wow, that's a blend of tangible history and something a little more mystical.
That's Delhi for you. Always something unexpected around the corner.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about ancient ruins and mystical beings. What about Delhi's art scene?
Oh, it's thriving. In fact, let's talk about the Lodi Art District.
I've heard great things.
So Lodi Colony, it was built in the 1940s, pretty distinct architecture.
And now it's
India's first open-air public art district.
so cool.
It is. There are over 50 murals created by Indian and international artists. Really transforms the whole area.
And then there's Shapur Jat.
Ah, yes, the urban village turned fashion hub.
Right. Suzanne described it as this maze of tiny lanes, boutiques, and designer studios crammed into what looks like a dilapidated village.
It's an interesting juxtaposition. And you know what's really fascinating? It's built on the ruins of Siri,
Serious.
Delhi's second city.
So you're shopping for the latest fashions and you might just stumble upon an ancient wall or something.
Exactly. And the street art in Shahpurjat is fantastic too, by the way.
Seriously, Delhi just keeps getting more and more interesting. Okay, before we move on, let's talk about two places that might not be on your typical tourist itinerary, but are definitely worth checking out.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
First up, the Sulab International Museum of Toilets.
The what now?
You heard that right. A museum dedicated to toilets.
All right, that is definitely offbeat. What's the point of a toilet museum?
Well, Suzanne actually makes a good case for it. It's all about raising awareness about sanitation and hygiene, especially in India.
Okay, I can see that.
Plus, you get to see a collection of chamber pots and throne-like toilets.
I'm strangely curious now.
I told you, Delhi's full of surprises.
Yeah.
Okay, now for something completely different. Let's talk about langar at a Sikh Gurudwara.
Ah, langar. The free communal meal.
Right. Suzanne suggests visiting Gurudwara Sisganj Sahib in Old Delhi or Gurudwara Bangla Sahib near Connaught Place. Have you ever participated in a langar?
I have. It's quite an experience.
Tell us about it. What's it like?
You walk into this bustling kitchen run by volunteers, everyone working together, preparing this simple but delicious vegetarian meal. And then you sit on the floor with people from all walks of life sharing this meal together. No matter who you are, where you come from, you're all equal in that moment.
It sounds incredibly humbling.
It is. It's about community, sharing, recognizing the inherent dignity of every individual. It's a beautiful thing.
So from exploring the history of toilets to sharing a meal on the floor of a Gurudwara, Delhi truly offers a diverse range of experiences.
And that's just the beginning.
I can't wait to see what else Delhi has in store for us on this offbeat adventure. Stay tuned, listeners.
Welcome back to our Offbeat Delhi adventure. We've uncovered some hidden gems, but there's so much more to explore.
I'm ready. Let's dive back in.
All right, picture this. You're in a quiet, upscale neighborhood in Delhi.
Sounds peaceful already.
It is. And suddenly, you stumble upon a cluster of 15th century tombs.
Wait, tombs in a fancy neighborhood.
Yep, the tombs of Green Park, hidden in plain sight.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what makes these tombs special?
They offer a glimpse into the Lodi and Tughlaq eras. Beautiful domes, intricate details, a real sense of mystery.
Mystery. Tell me more.
Well, there's the Dadi Poti Gumbad, which means grandmother and granddaughter tombs.
Oh, that's sweet.
But historians debate whether they were actually dedicated to women. It was unusual back then, so it's a bit of an enigma.
Fascinating. Are there other tombs in the complex?
Oh yeah. You've got the Choti Gumti, the small dome, the Sakri Gumti, the narrow dome, each with its own charm, and the Barakamba, the 12 pillars, hinting at a larger complex lost to time.
Wow, sounds like a peaceful escape. A chance to connect with Delhi's past.
It is. And Suzanne mentions they're relatively free from encroachment, unlike many other historical sites. Makes them even more special.
Now, for something completely different, Suzanne recommends ice skating in Delhi.
Ice skating in Delhi's heat.
I know, right? But apparently, it's a thing.
Well, there are 2 indoor rinks, both in malls, so you can escape the heat and get your skate on.
Makes sense. Which one does Suzanne recommend?
I skate in Ambience Mall, Gurugram. Larger rink, decent cafe. But if you're looking for more than just skating.
More? Like what?
Snow World and DLF Mall of India, Noida. They have a whole snow park. Tobogganing, bobsledding, the works.
Now that sounds like fun, especially for families. Okay, let's move on to a landmark that's hard to miss, especially if you're traveling by metro. The Chandawalan Hanuman statue.
Ah, yes. That towering orange statue of Hanuman. Hard to miss it.
108 feet tall. That's huge.
It is. And it's not just the size, the details are incredible. The story behind it, too.
What's the story?
Well, the temple has multiple levels, each dedicated to different deities.
Cool.
And get this, you enter the temple through the gaping mouth of a Rakshas, a demon.
Whoa, that's intense.
Right. And then there's this animatronic feature where the statue opens its chest to reveal Lord Rama and Sita inside.
Seriously? That's a wild blend of tradition and technology.
It is. Shows how faith adapts and finds new ways to express itself.
Okay, let's talk shopping. Delhi is known for its markets, but Suzanne recommends a couple that are off the beaten path.
Shopping, I'm in.
First up, Dastkar Nature Bazaar. It's all about promoting traditional crafts and empowering artisans.
So not your typical tourist trap market.
Definitely not. It's got a social conscience, sustainable practices, handmade products from all over India.
Sounds like a great place to find unique gifts.
It is. You'll find everything from textiles and organic products to recycled crafts. And each month, they have a themed fair with workshops, performances, and delicious food.
Sign me up. Now, for those of us who love a good bargain, what else does Suzanne recommend?
Sarojini Nagar Market.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of this one. A true Delhi experience, right?
It is. Clothing, footwear, home decor, all at crazy low prices.
But you got a bargain, right?
Oh, yeah. Aim for at least 50% less than the asking price.
Wow. No wonder Suzanne snags shirts for 100 rupees and jeans for 300.
Bargaining is an art form in itself. All right, let's step back in time to another hidden historical gem, the Katla Mubarakpur complex.
This one's a bit of a secret, tucked away in an urban village.
What's there to see?
Well, it's a collection of monuments from the Lodi and Sayyid eras, often overlooked, but so worth a visit.
Any standout monuments?
Darya Khan's tomb. It's the only one in Delhi with a 3-tiered design.
Impressive.
It is. And Suzanne mentions that some of the monuments are practically swallowed up by surrounding construction.
Really, like hidden within the modern city.
Exactly. Makes them even more offbeat and challenging to find.
Okay, now we're heading to a place where time seems to stand still. Kumhar Colony, also known as Potter's Village.
Potter's Village? What's that all about?
Imagine strolling through lanes lined with mounds of clay, stacks of terracotta pottery, and the rhythmic whirring of potter's wheels.
Sounds like stepping back in time.
It is. Families here have been creating pottery for generations.
Wow, that's amazing. Still keeping those traditions alive.
It is. And Suzanne encourages visitors to venture off the main road to witness the whole process.
From raw clay to finished product. I love that. Okay, what's next on our offbeat Delhi journey?
The Begumpur Mosque, a forgotten treasure that's finally getting some attention.
What makes this mosque special?
Well, it was built in the 14th century during the Tughlaq era, and it was once the largest mosque in Delhi.
Larger than the Jama Masjid.
Only surpassed by the Jama Masjid 2 centuries later. But sadly, it's been neglected for years, even used as a cricket pitch at times.
What? A cricket pitch? That's terrible.
I know, right? But the good news is, a historian posted about it on social media, and it went viral. Now, the Archaeological Survey of India is restoring it.
The power of social media, huh? That's amazing.
It is. Okay, now for a truly unique Delhi experience, how about a visit to a Dhobi Ghat?
A Dhobi Ghat?
An open-air laundromat.
Okay, now that's something I haven't seen before.
The Devi Prasad Sadan Dhobi Ghat is where a lot of Delhi's laundry gets done. Officials, families, businesses.
So how does it work?
Picture this. Rows of dhobis, washermen, stomping on laundry in these huge tubs, scrubbing linens, beating clothes on stone slabs.
Sounds like hard work.
It is. But they're incredibly skilled and efficient. Plus, Suzanne says they're super friendly and happy to let you watch them work.
I'd love to see that. Okay, where are we off to next?
Let's venture into the Lothian Cemetery.
A cemetery? That sounds a little spooky.
It is a bit eerie, but it's also a fascinating glimpse into Delhi's colonial past. Dates back to the 19th century.
So it's where British soldiers and civilians were buried.
Exactly. Atlas Obscura even calls it one of the most haunted cemeteries in Delhi.
Haunted?
Well, Suzanne describes it as overgrown and in a state of disrepair, which definitely adds to the atmosphere.
Okay, I can see how that would be creepy. Anything else that makes it stand out?
The grave of John Nicholson, a British war hero. It's the only one with a protective iron fence.
Interesting. Almost like they were trying to keep something in rather than out.
Okay, let's shift gears again. From a colonial cemetery to a hidden spiritual oasis for India's third gender community, the Hijran Ka Kanka.
I've never heard of this.
It's a Sufi cemetery tucked away in a quiet corner of Delhi, the final resting place for many Hijras, transgender individuals who are recognized as a distinct gender in India.
Oh, wow. So this cemetery is a safe space for them.
It is. Atlas Obscura describes it as a monument to their resilience and their enduring spiritual traditions.
That's really beautiful. A place where they can be remembered with respect.
Exactly. All right, now let's head to a place that sounds like a true oasis in the heart of the city. The Quadzia Bagh.
A garden.
More than just a garden. Suzanne calls it a beautiful oasis built for a queen.
A queen. Tell me more.
It was built in the 18th century for Quadzia Begum, the wife of a Mughal ruler. Much of it was destroyed during the 1857 rebellion, but what remains is still stunning.
So what can you see there?
The remnants of the Shahi Masjid, the Royal Mosque, the Hathi Darwaza, the Elephant Gate. And of course, the gardens themselves.
Sounds peaceful.
It is. A reminder that beauty and tranquility can exist even in the middle of a chaotic city. Now, remember that quirky Sulab Museum of Toilets we talked about?
How can I forget?
Well, Atlas Obscura highlights it as a quirky attraction, calling it the brainchild of a man on a sanitation crusade.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It's definitely one of a kind, a collection of toilets from different eras and cultures. You've got chamber pots, throne-like toilets, even medieval commodes.
Okay, I'm definitely adding this to my list. Now, where to next?
Let's immerse ourselves in art and culture at the National Crafts Museum and Haskell Academy.
This sounds more my speed.
Suzanne calls it India's most inspiring museum.
High praise. Why is that?
It showcases traditional crafts from all over the country. Textiles, pottery, metalwork, wood carving.
Yeah.
All beautifully displayed.
Sounds amazing.
And the grounds are designed to resemble a village, with replicas of traditional dwellings and workshops.
So you really get a feel for the artisans' lives and workspaces.
Exactly. And don't forget the museum shop. You can buy authentic crafts directly from the artisans.
Supporting their livelihoods and taking home a piece of Indian culture. Perfect. All right, what else is on the agenda?
How about a taste of Delhi's vibrant sporting culture?
Okay, I'm game. What kind of sport am I talking about?
Kushti wrestling.
Kushti.
It's a traditional form of Indian wrestling, dates back to Mughal times. More than just a sport, it's a martial art.
Sounds intense.
It is. Suzanne describes Udu Park as an unofficial boys' club. Lots of energy, a predominantly male crowd cheering on the wrestlers.
So where do these matches take place?
Urdu Park. And while the matches are friendly, there are cash awards, so there's definitely a competitive spirit.
Cool. I'd love to see that. Okay, what's next?
Let's head to a hidden gem in South Delhi, Champagali.
What's that?
It's a quirky lane in the urban village of Saidulajab. It was once a vacant lot, a former poultry farm and junkyard. But now, it's a bohemian escape full of cafes, boutiques, art galleries, and live music venues.
Wow, talk about transformation.
Right. Suzanne says it's a great place to sip coffee, browse unique shops, and just enjoy the laid-back atmosphere.
I'm sold. Now, are we done with historical adventures?
Not quite. Let's head to the Adilabad Fort, a 14th century structure that even most locals don't know about.
Another hidden gem. I love it.
It was built by the same ruler who built the Hazrat Nizamuddin Dargah.
So another example of Tughlaq architecture.
Exactly. It was once connected to the Tughlaqabad Fort by a causeway. Imagine this whole formidable defense system.
Impressive. So how do you find this hidden fort?
Suzanne says it's a bit tricky. It's located within the Kayamaya Park, but it's worth the effort.
I bet it is. I always love a good exploration. Okay, what's next?
Let's step into a place that's both somber and historically significant. The Indira Gandhi Memorial Museum.
The former home of India's only female prime minister.
The one and only. It's a reminder of her legacy, the events that led to her assassination in 1984.
A powerful piece of history.
It is. The museum houses her personal belongings, photographs, even the blood-stained sari she was wearing that day.
Wow, that's intense.
It is. A poignant reminder of a life cut short. Okay, let's take a break from the city's hustle and bustle for a bit.
Sounds good to me. Where are we headed?
The Okla Bird Sanctuary. A peaceful oasis on the Yamuna River.
A bird sanctuary in Delhi.
Yep, hard to believe, right? But it's home to over 300 species of birds.
Wow, a bird watcher's paradise.
It is. Suzanne recommends wearing neutral clothing, being quiet, and going early in the morning for the best sightings.
Great tips. I'll keep those in mind. All right, what's next on our Offbeat adventure?
Let's head to one of Delhi's most iconic landmarks, but with a twist. The Qutub Minar complex.
The Qutub Minar, that's not exactly off the beaten path.
True, but it's a must-see for a reason, and we're going to focus on an often overlooked aspect of it.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
This complex is the UNESCO World Heritage Site. You've got the towering Qutub Minar, the tallest brick minaret in the world.
It's an incredible sight.
It is. And then there's the Quwwat Islam Mosque, the first mosque built in Delhi.
So much history packed into one place.
Exactly. The carvings, the arches, the sheer scale of the structures. Breathtaking.
I can't wait to see it. Okay, what else is on our itinerary?
Let's take a stroll through Lodi Garden. Suzanne describes it as Delhi's loveliest escape.
A garden. Sounds peaceful.
It is. A perfect blend of history, nature, and architecture. You've got tombs, mosques, and other structures from the Lodi era, all set amidst lush greenery.
Sounds like the perfect place to relax and escape the city noise.
Exactly. A reminder that green spaces are essential, even in a bustling metropolis. Okay, ready for another fort adventure?
Always. Which one are we exploring this time?
The Purana Kila. also known as the Old Fort.
I thought the Red Fort was the main one in Delhi.
It is, but Suzanne claims the Purana Kila is even better.
Really? Why is that?
Well, the Red Fort is grand and imposing, but the Purana Kila is more peaceful and intimate. It's one of Delhi's oldest forts, dating back to the 16th century.
Wow, that's old. So what's the best way to experience it?
Suzanne recommends visiting in the evening for the light and sound show.
A light and sound show. That sounds cool.
It's supposed to be a really captivating way to learn about the fort's history.
I'm adding it to my list. Now where to next?
Let's step back in time to the Tilakabad Fort, a 14th century structure that's both impressive and a bit eerie.
Another Tughlaq fort. These rulers sure love their forts.
They did. This one was built by Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, and it's massive. Part of it is in ruins, which adds to the atmosphere.
Ruins? That sounds spooky.
It is a bit. And there's a legend that it's cursed.
Cursed?
The story goes that a Sufi saint cursed the fort after a conflict with the ruler.
Interesting. So what's it like to explore the fort?
Suzanne describes exploring the ramparts, bastions, and underground passages, imagining the lives of the people who once lived there.
Sounds like a real journey into the past.
It is. A reminder that history is full of stories of ambition, power, and sometimes even tragedy. Okay, for something completely different, let's visit the Tibet House.
The Tibet House.
It's a cultural center dedicated to preserving Tibetan culture.
Oh, wow. That sounds fascinating.
It was established under the guidance of the Dalai Lama.
Really?
Yep. It's a treasure trove of Tibetan art, artifacts, and manuscripts. Beautiful thangkas, intricate sculptures, ancient texts.
Sounds like a peaceful and inspiring place.
Suzanne says it is. A reminder of the resilience of Tibetan culture. Okay, now let's head to the India Habitat Center.
What's that?
It's a unique space in Delhi. Suzanne recommends it for its diverse offerings. Art exhibitions, performances, film screenings, discussions, all sorts of things.
Sounds like a cultural hub.
It is. There are 2 excellent galleries showcasing Indian artists, a sculpture park, even an amphitheater for live events. Suzanne recommends checking their website for the calendar events.
Good tip. I'll definitely do that. Okay, where are we off to next?
Get ready to be awe-inspired by the Baha'i Lotus Temple.
The Lotus Temple. I've seen pictures. It's stunning.
It's one of the most visited buildings in the world, and for good reason. It's shaped like a lotus flower and symbolizes unity and peace.
So people of all faiths are welcome.
Absolutely. Atlas Obscura describes it as a place where you can find serenity and contemplate the interconnectedness of humanity.
That's beautiful. I can't wait to see it for myself. All right, where to next?
Let's grab a bite to eat at Café Loda.
A cafe inside a museum.
You heard that right. It's nestled within the National Crafts Museum.
That's cool. What's so special about this cafe?
Atlas Obscura recommends it for its unique dining experience. They showcase hard-to-find regional dishes from all over India.
Sounds delicious. Does Suzanne recommend it too?
She raves about the food, calls it authentic and flavorful.
I'm sold. Okay, I'm ready for our next adventure. What is it?
Let's head to the Kari Baoli rooftop for a bird's-eye view of one of the world's largest spice markets.
The Kari Baoli. I've heard of that.
Atlas Obscura describes it as a glorious bustle. Mountains of spices, pungent aromas, vendors hawking their wares. A real sensory overload.
Sounds amazing. And we're going to see it all from the rooftop.
Exactly. Imagine taking in the vibrant colors, the chaotic energy, the sheer scale of this bustling marketplace.
Wow, that's going to be incredible. Okay, what's next?
Let's travel back in time to marvel at the Iron Pillar of Delhi.
The Iron Pillar, what's so special about it?
It dates back to the 4th century and is made of iron that's remarkably resistant to rust.
Rust, but it's been exposed to the elements for over 1,600 years.
Exactly. Atlas Obscura calls it a testament to the metallurgical skills of ancient India.
That's mind-blowing. Okay, what other wonders does Delhi have in store for us?
Let's step into a place where time seems to stand still. Gandhi Smriti, the house where Mahatma Gandhi spent the last 144 days of his life.
Wow, that's a powerful place.
Atlas Obscura describes it as a place where time has stopped, a poignant reminder of his legacy, his message of peace and nonviolence.
So it's a museum now?
It is. You can walk through the rooms where he lived and worked, see his personal belongings, learn about his life and philosophy.
Sounds like a moving experience.
It is. A reminder that one person can truly change the world. Okay, ready for another Offbeat museum?
Bring it on.
Back to the Sulab Museum of Toilets.
Wait, the toilet museum again?
This time we're focusing on the quirk factor. Suzanne describes it as chronicling the history of toilets from ancient times to the present.
So we're talking chamber pots, throne-like toilets, medieval commodes.
The whole shebang. It's a reminder that there's a story behind everything, even something as mundane as a toilet.
True. Okay, I'm ready for our next adventure. What is it?
Let's take a break from museums and monuments for a truly unique culinary experience. The Indian Coffee House in Connaught Place.
Coffee.
Not just any coffee. This is an iconic coffee shop, a favorite haunt of Delhi's intellectuals and politicians.
Sound like my kind of place.
Atlas Obscura describes it as a place with a rich history. It even shut down during Indira Gandhi's emergency period.
Wow, that's some serious history.
It is. Imagine sitting in this old-school coffee shop, sipping your coffee, soaking in the atmosphere, and thinking about all the conversations that have taken place there.
I love that. A reminder that coffee shops are more than just places to get caffeine. They're social hubs, places where ideas are exchanged.
Exactly. Okay, now for a more sobering but essential experience. A visit to the Yamuna Ghat.
A ghat. Isn't that a set of steps leading down to a river?
It is. This particular ghat is along the Yamuna River. Atlas Obscura describes it as a place where ancient traditions and surreal birdwatching collide with the harsh reality of pollution.
Pollution.
Unfortunately, the Yamuna River, once a sacred waterway, is now heavily polluted.
That's sad to hear.
It is. But visiting the Ghat is still a powerful experience. You can observe the rituals, witness the devotion of pilgrims, see the beauty of the birds, all against the backdrop of this polluted river.
A stark reminder of the environmental challenges facing India.
Exactly. Okay, let's immerse ourselves in art once again with a visit to the Lodi Art District.
Oh yeah, we talked about this earlier. India's first open-air public art district.
That's the one. It's transformed a once ordinary neighborhood into a vibrant canvas for artistic expression. Atlas Obscura describes it as a must-visit for art lovers.
And Suzanne recommends using the map provided by St. Plus Art India to navigate the district.
She does. There are over 50 murals to discover, showcasing a diverse range of styles and themes.
I can't wait to see them all. All right, what else is on our Offbeat agenda?
How about a hidden cupola behind the iconic India Gate?
A hidden what? Behind the India Gate?
Yep, the India Gate canopy. Atlas Obscura calls it a mysterious structure that points to an ancient prophecy of Delhi.
A prophecy. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
It's often overlooked by visitors, but it's worth seeking out. Imagine standing beneath this mysterious canopy, contemplating its symbolism and the stories that surround it.
I will. Sounds fascinating. Now I'm ready for our next stop. What is it?
Let's escape the city's chaos once again with a visit to the BJ Mandal.
What's that? Another fort?
Not a fort, but a ruined relic of the medieval city of Jahanpana.
Jahanpana. Never heard of it.
Atlas Obscura describes the BJ Mandal as a tranquil escape, a hidden oasis amidst the urban sprawl.
Sounds like my kind of place.
It is. Imagine exploring its crumbling walls and structures, picturing the lives of those who once lived and ruled within its boundaries.
A reminder that peace and tranquility can be found even in the most densely populated cities.
Exactly. Okay, let's venture into a place that's both beautiful and historically significant. The Sundarwala Burj.
What's that?
Atlas Obscura calls it a marvel of heritage conservation. It's a 16th century necropolis, a collection of tombs and structures that have been meticulously restored.
Wow, so we get to see local architecture and funerary practices up close.
Exactly. Imagine strolling through its serene gardens, admiring the intricate details of the tombs, and contemplating the lives and legacies of those who rest there.
It's a reminder that preserving our cultural heritage is so important. Okay, what's next on our offbeat Delhi exploration?
How about another spooky adventure? The Nicholson Cemetery.
Another cemetery. Didn't we already visit one?
We did, but this one's from the 19th century and is considered one of Delhi's most haunted.
Haunted. Okay, I'm in.
Atlas Obscura describes it as a haunting reminder of Delhi's colonial past. It's the final resting place for many British soldiers and civilians.
So lots of history and maybe a few ghosts.
Exactly. Picture yourself wandering through overgrown pathways, reading weathered inscriptions on the tombstones, and maybe even feeling a chill down your spine.
Sounds like my kind of adventure. Okay, where to next?
Let's step into a world of faith and spirituality at the Judaism Synagogue.
A synagogue in Delhi.
Yep. Atlas Obscura describes it as the only place of worship for New Delhi's small Jewish community.
Wow, I had no idea.
It's a reminder of the incredible diversity of faiths that coexist in this city.
That's beautiful.
Oh.
So what's it like to visit the synagogue?
Imagine entering this sacred space, feeling a sense of peace and connection. learning about the history and traditions of the Jewish community in Delhi.
Sounds like a special experience. Okay, what's next on our Offbeat itinerary?
Let's head back to the Kari Baoli, but this time for a culinary adventure.
Wait, the spice market. We're going back there.
We are, but this time we're dining on the rooftop.
On the rooftop.
Atlas Obscura says it offers a grand view of the neighborhood's glorious bustle.
So we can enjoy a delicious meal while watching the market unfold below us.
Exactly. Imagine sipping chai or savoring some incredible Indian food while taking in the sights, sounds, and aromas of this bustling marketplace.
Sounds amazing. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Okay, what's next on our Offbeat Delhi journey?
Let's delve into the world of art and culture at the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, also known as IGNCA.
The IGNCA, what's that all about?
Suzanne describes it as a hub for artistic expression. It regularly hosts seminars, exhibitions, performances, and film screenings, all showcasing the diverse range of Indian art forms.
Sounds like a cultural feast.
It is. You could attend a classical dance performance, listen to a traditional music recital, or explore an exhibition of contemporary Indian art.
Wow, so much to choose from.
Exactly. Okay, now get ready to be transported to a world of spirituality and architectural grandeur. We're heading to the Sri Parthasarathi Mandir.
Is that another name for the ISK Khan temple in Delhi?
The one and only. It's dedicated to Lord Krishna and known for its joyful atmosphere and mesmerizing arisa ceremonies.
Suzanne recommended attending the evening arti. She called it a frenzy of singing, chanting, flower offerings, and spiritual ecstasy.
It's an experience that will stay with you long after you leave.
I can't wait to experience it. Okay, where are we off to next?
Let's venture into a place that's both historically rich and vastly underrated. The Murali Archaeological Park.
We're going back to Murali.
We are. This park is a sprawling expanse of history and ruins, with structures dating from the pre-Islamic period to the late Mughal era.
I remember Suzanne calling it a treasure trove of hidden gems.
She's right. Imagine wandering through this unkempt forest, stumbling upon ancient stepwells, serene mosques, crumbling tombs, each one whispering tales of bygone eras.
Sound like a history buff's dream.
It is. Okay, now for a dose of modern art and creativity, let's revisit the Lodi Art District.
The Lodi Art District, again.
This time we're going to really delve into the street art scene.
I'm game. Atlas Obscura calls it India's first open-air public art district, and Suzanne recommends using the map provided by St. Plus Art India to navigate it.
There are over 50 murals to discover, each one a unique expression of creativity and artistry.
I can't wait to see them all. What's next on our itinerary?
Let's head to a place that's shrouded in mystery and intrigue. The Firoz Shah Kotla Fort.
That's the one with the gems, right?
The one and only. It's a 14th century fort with impressive ruins, including one of the world's oldest active mosques and a unique circular stepwell.
Suzanne described it as a place where history and folklore intertwine. She mentioned that people visit every Thursday to leave wishes and offerings for the jinns.
It's a fascinating blend of the tangible and the intangible, a reminder that belief can be a powerful force.
I can't wait to see it for myself. Okay, where to next?
Let's step into a world of fashion and creativity at Shahpur Jat, the urban village that's become a hub for designers and boutiques.
Shahpur Jat, that's the one built on the ruins of Delhi's second city, right?
That's the one. Suzanne describes it as a hidden fashion gem, a maze of tiny lanes filled with boutiques, designer studios, and trendy cafes.
So it's like...
We've journeyed through ancient forts, mystical tombs, vibrant markets, tranquil gardens. You're telling me there's more to uncover in Offbeat Delhi.
Oh, absolutely. We've barely scratched the surface. Remember that Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts we talked about, blending the old and new? It's a great example.
Oh, right. They had to relocate because of that Central Vista project. Where'd they end up? I'm picturing something sleek and modern.
Not quite. They took over the old Janpath Hotel temporarily. They've integrated art right into the lobby, the hallways.
So it's like art viewing meets a hotel stay.
Yeah.
How cool. What can visitors expect at the IGNCA now?
It's dynamic, something for everyone. A brand new auditorium, an outdoor amphitheater, even a rooftop venue for events. Seminars, dance, music, films, even book discussions. A creative hub, truly.
Sounds like a must visit. Speaking of vibrant experiences, we can't forget the ISK Khan Temple. Suzanne raved about the evening arti.
The Sri Parthasarathi Mandir, that's the ISK Khan temple in Delhi. It's dedicated to Lord Krishna, and the energy during the arti is just incredible.
I bet. What makes it so special?
Picture this. Devotees singing, chanting, offering flowers and sweets to the priests. And the priests, they shower the crowd with rose petals, holy water. People are dancing, twirling, clapping, all caught up in this wave of spiritual energy. It's joyful, almost frenzied, an experience that stays with you.
Wow, mesmerizing. Before we wrap up our deep dive, one last hidden gem we should mention.
We can't leave out the Devi Prasad Sadan Dhobi Ghat. It's like a hidden world in the heart of Delhi.
The massive open-air laundry.
Exactly. Rows and rows of washermen stomping on clothes in huge tubs, scrubbing, beating garments on stone slabs. It's hard work, but so efficient.
Yeah.
And they're cheerful, friendly, happy to let you watch.
Delhi holds on to these traditions amidst the modern city. It's fascinating. As we end our deep dive, what's the takeaway for our listener?
Delhi is a city of contrasts. Ancient ruins, modern skyscrapers, spiritual havens, bustling markets, sacred and mundane, all woven together. Challenges expectations, rewards curiosity.
It might seem overwhelming at first, but peel back the layers and you'll find those hidden gems.
That's the beauty of it. There's always something new in Delhi. A monument, a haven, a market, even a quirky museum.
So listeners, feeling adventurous? Want to experience a city unlike any other? Pack your bags, grab your sense of wonder, and explore Offbeat Delhi.
This deep dive is just the start. Who knows what other treasures are waiting? Maybe you'll be the one to discover them.
Until our next adventure, happy exploring.